Hello and welcome to today's video. My name is Jeannie. I'm a 6'2" self-projected projector. I have a defined head, ajna, throat, and G-center, and they're all connected straight down the middle channels, which are all part of individual circuitry. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the gates in the head center, and this is probably going to be a 3-part video. That way I don't go on for too long. I'm going to talk a little bit about the head center. Now, the head center has to do with mental pressure, and it's the pressure to comprehend, to think, and to make sense of things in the world. If you have a defined head, you're going to have a defined ajna. And the pressure moves from our thoughts, the head, towards conceptualization in the ajna by pushing, because it's a pressure center, right? And it's either, depending on which gate or gates you have defined, it's going to be pushing our questions towards formulas and opinions, our pondering towards clarification and insight, and or our confusion towards realization and ideas. Now, human design refers to this pressure as inspiration. So, first tip is whenever we're starting to feel that mental pressure, because it can be so easy to like focus on the pressure and how uncomfortable that is. Can we start to substitute or kind of play with this connection of like pressure really is inspiration? Maybe that's trying to come through or push through. Yeah, push, because that's the word that source material uses, is pushing. And many times we can have a lot of internal resistance to this pushing, which makes things a little bit more uncomfortable and a little bit worse. So, inspiration is not a motorized energy that leads to action. And this makes sense because the head center isn't a motor, it's a pressure center. And it's not very easily connected to a motor center. There would have to be like a lot of definition in order to like connect it at some point, but it's not a motorized energy that leads to action. It's a pressure that drives our mental activity. And this can be experienced as, for example, the pressure to ask questions and expect answers. Now, the head pressures or directs mental activity to the ajna along 3 channels. Now, if you don't have your head defined, I feel like even if you still have gates defined, you can still experience that pressure. So I'm not going to go into the full channels. I'm going to focus mainly on the gates, and then maybe later down the line I will do maybe a more in-depth video with each of the channels. So each gate in the head center kind of has this keynote related to time. For example, gate 63 is related to the future, 61 is in the moment, and 64 tends to deal with the past. Okay, so like I said, in today's video I'm just going to focus on one of the gates, and then we'll do the other 2 in separate videos. Okay, now we're going to talk about gate 64, which is the gate of confusion. With gate 64, you want to accept the confusion, that the confusion is part of 64's process of attempting to make sense of a constant flow of data that continually recycles through the mind. 64 is the pressure behind. Hi, do you want to say hello? Come here. Yeah. Oh, look who came to say hello. Do you want to say hi to your friends? Okay, I forgot where I left off, but we'll start here. No, Bubba, no. Gate 64 is the pressure behind that flow, and not the gate, and it's not the gate that resolves the confusion. So again, pressure. Your mind is filled with a string of disconnected memories and images from your past that need filtering and sorting until you can see or make sense of what really happened. So there's like this very visual component to this gate. In order to enjoy your mental state of confusion and not be overwhelmed by it, you need to let the clips of your past experiences simply stream through your mind until the message of the movie becomes becomes clear to you. So there's kind of like this very hands-off approach, which can probably be very difficult and might require some practice. So it's this concept of like just letting things stream through your mind. When it does, when you finally get that clarity, that mental clarity, share it with others. And again, this would make sense because it's a collective energy in the sensing subcircuit. If you put pressure on your mind to figure the data out without a specific methodology, you might increase your level of confusion and then trigger anxiety. It takes inner strength to let the confusion process resolve on its own, in its own way and time. It can be tempting. Okay, can we hold you here? Yeah? Okay, we're going to try this. It can be tempting to react in some way once the clarity arrives, but but these ahas are for sharing, not for acting upon. Again, because the head center is a pressure center, it's not a motor. Baby, what do you want? You just want to sit here with me? Wait, you can't claw me though. I don't like it when you use your claws. Okay, if you don't have gate 47, which would then make it the full channel, you might be tempted to resolve the confusion prematurely. The repressive nature of this gate is imitating, and you might be imitating in a way that you think is so original that you might not realize that you're imitating. And the reactive nature is feeling confused. The gift frequency of this gate is imagination, and imagination is born of confusion, but only when you embrace the confusion without trying to change it. Okay, so like we've kind of already covered, there is this very like visual component to this gate. So I would recommend, in order to help relieve that pressure, do something really creative, like painting, drawing, and as you're drawing or like painting, I would focus on like what is that mental confusion. Keep on getting all these gates confused. Funny. Okay. What does that confusion feel like, look like? What color do you feel drawn towards using? Journaling, writing it out, maybe speaking out the confusion a little bit, or not even like, okay, speaking it out, but without trying to change it, right? Because the gift is imagination, which is born out of confusion, but only when you embrace the confusion without trying to change it. So maybe speaking out that mental confusion in the form of words, but without attaching any meaning to it, just, as a way to help relieve the pressure, transmute that mental pressure into words, the energy of words, and, seeing how that helps the mental pressure. Maybe singing about your confusion and the thoughts that are going through your head again, without trying to change them. Another thing is telling the story. I believe in the Gene Key material, it mentions this concept of pain, like there is this pain underneath it. So maybe you could tell the story of your pain. What does it feel like? And do it in story format, whether you choose to journal it or writing it out, voice noting it, or if you have someone that you can say, hey, I just need to get this out. Can you hold space and just witness it as this comes out, and see how that helps relieve that mental pressure. Another thing that kind of came to me as I was reading this material was kind of like doing a vision board type of thing, or kind of like you know how like in movies they do like this storyboard with like frames of pictures in order to tell the story. You could try doing the same thing. Even if you don't know how to draw, like try doing stick figures, or even if it's just words. And to me, I kind of get this visual of a puzzle, and kind of like laying the pieces that you do have out in front of you, or using sticky notes and, you know, putting them on the wall, and just trusting the process that you're going to be given these memories or images from the past, and they're going to need to be filtered and sorted until you can make sense of what happened, right? And these memories are disconnected, so again, it's like you're given pieces. I feel like I experience this one a lot, even though I don't have the skate defined, and I tend to do that. It's kind of like it feels like this collection of puzzle pieces, and that I'm not quite sure how they fit yet. So I kind of like very intuitively just started gathering pieces, and then it's kind of like a journey, just like a movie. You know, like when you're watching a movie, you're not given everything at the very beginning. The story evolves and changes as you're given more pieces. So it's kind of like taking that concept and just using some kind of external outlet to help relieve that mental pressure as we're practicing to learn to not interfere in the process or try to change it. And it's about learning to develop this trust in life and in the process and in the journey that the pieces will be given to you, and they're going eventually, like, it's going to make sense. And there is this, it can be a very beautiful process once you start to pick up on the pattern of how it works. In the beginning, it might be a little bit more difficult because, you know, you're like trying to figure it out. You're trying to figure it out. But again, remember that piece. We don't want to change the confusion, but more so like play or contemplate that word of imagination, right? We're using our imagination. I know, I get the visual of SpongeBob. Imagination. Okay. I think that's all I have for now about this. I feel like there's so much information about these gates that I do want to go deeper, but I also kind of like don't want to be talking for over 30 minutes because I feel like y'all might get bored of that. So I want to try to keep the information as concise. And then if you guys have any more questions, or you want to hear me talk about this stuff more, then I'm open to invitations. I'll leave them down in the comments if you have specific questions, and then I feel like that can take us like on a whole different journey with this information. But yeah, okay, I think I'm gonna wrap it up there with this one for now. Like I mentioned, if you have any questions, comments, insights, anything that you'd like to share down below, feel free to leave it in the comment section. Otherwise, you can find me on Instagram. My handle is @JeannieSalcedo. There, and on my website, you can find more information on different ways of working with me. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Hi, are you doing so? Hi. I just had lunch. Mama fed us late. Oh, are you purring? Are you purring? Oh, look at that true face. Look at that true face. Where's my little nugget? Oh, you're showing off today, aren't you? Yeah, can you let go? Yeah. Oh my goodness, I love you too much. I love you too much. You gotta let Mama work though. Okay. You gonna let Mama work? Are you gonna let go? No claws. Okay, I'll let you go. Let go. Bye-bye. Say hi. I'm being needy today. I'm being needy today, and I just want to be held. You want to be held like that?